our first presenter today is Garry Lineham. Garry is the co-founder of really this amazing project called HumanGarage, and it's obviously taken off big time. I happened upon him in Instagram one day, and because of my background in movement therapy and breath work and actually pre and perinatal psychology, I really was intrigued watching him share his different maneuvers about how to help people get unstuck, how to help people bring, vitality and life back into their bodies, and finding ways for the body to release itself so that can happen. So Garry, his presentation today is fascial maneuvers, and it's a self-care movement system that improves mobility, reduces stress through the entire body, and to help to achieve his mission of teaching 1 billion people, and he's very close to doing that already, learn to heal themselves. HumanGarage made access to fascial maneuvers and the full 28 reset program accessible to everyone. So Garry, I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us today. And you are going to do a fascial maneuvers class for us.
I think first, thank you, Greg. And you've got to be good because you got 3 G's in your name. So it makes you like me. It makes me like you. And I'm a 2R Garry.
Yeah,
so,
right.
To understand what people are about to go through today, if you've done fascial maneuvers before, put it in the chat. Just let us know. If you haven't done it, if you're new to it, just also let us know. That'll also help me understand what I can do and what I can't do. So some of you guys are probably already doing fascial maneuvers. We started 3 years ago during the pandemic, and it was after being 10 years in clinical practice. What we found is I was in pain for 20 years of my life, and quickly moved to dysfunction, where I wasn't able to operate a software or a computer in 2010. My brain, through various traumas, including 8 concussions, disabled me. I'd spent my life as an athlete, as a bodybuilder, studying nutrition and health and sharing it, entrepreneur. I've had 13 companies, 20,000 employees over the course of my tenure, my business career. And I just kept progressing and getting worse and worse and worse. And some of you may feel like this. I was doing everything right. I had all the best practitioners in the world. I'd spent $2.5 million of my own healthcare and trying to figure out an answer, and it still hadn't worked. And when I say doing everything right, I had gone to every corner of the world. I had talked to some of the world's top shamans, top doctors in every discipline, and I was doing things. I was feeling better, but I kept having this gap from what I believed it should be. And what I believe it should be is I shouldn't have to do anything to my body on any day ever to feel good in it. And that's both emotionally, physically, and perceptually. And if I'm having to do something every day to my body just to feel good, if I have to have my routine, otherwise I don't feel good, then I'm not good. And what happened for me was, excuse me, I'd finally gotten to a place after working with fascia in the body clinically in Los Angeles. We had 52 practitioners from every discipline. We had 10,000 active patients. Most of our patients were Olympic athletes, celebrities, everybody you know. Almost every world leader that you can think of, consciousness, has been through the HumanGarage at one point. Everybody from Anita Morjani to the Chopras to the Ben Afflecks of the world were our clients. And what I started seeing was consistency in each and every person. And we're talking about embodiment today. And what does embodiment really mean? A lot of our embodiment is done through the head, or it's done through the movement of the body without reconciling with the head. If our body's in stress, and we exert our body, we fire adrenaline, norepinephrine, and cortisol. Those hormones, by definition, keep us from reaching consciousness because they narrow the focus of the human experience. They're meant to keep us from being eaten by tigers and and being attacked. And it used to be that, but today it's simply I can't pay a bill or I didn't say something to my spouse. And these little worries, and they build up over time. So we had mastered the physical body. Everybody in the world came to us when they couldn't get fixed. It doesn't matter where their discipline or where they came from. And 1,500 of the top practitioners in the world were my personal clients. So I got to spend 20 to 30 hours with each of them to understand what was working and not working in their life. And what was consistent in every single case was I was going to somebody to ask for help. And what I was doing is when I did that, I didn't feel good in my body. I mean, I was grateful to have the help, but when I was in pain alone in my room or in my house or my apartment or wherever I was in the world, I felt helpless. And the feeling of helplessness was overwhelming the experience. And again, I had all the tools. I had every tool, every biohacking tool you can imagine, every consciousness tool, every sound bowl, everything you can imagine. And something was still not working. So I was looking for a way to calm my nervous system down. The pandemic gave me the opportunity. So when the pandemic came, I couldn't receive treatment from my own practitioners. And all of the work that I thought I had been doing, because I had been treating myself day in, day out, and doing little treatments 3 times, 4 times a week, doing meditations and sound bowls and stuff like that. Well, I was locked in a place where I didn't have any of it. And all of a sudden my body started to break down again. My emotions started to break down again. My life started to break down again. So I was forced to look at it another way. We developed a series of fascial treatments that had taken people that were virtually crippled and had them working again. Things like fibromyalgia or MS, Parkinson's, were not even considered difficult in our world of working with fascia. But for some reason, I still couldn't get over this pain and dysfunction in my body. So we had developed a fascial treatment that worked on a table, but there was no theory to support it. We thought we were working with fascia for a decade. And then we had these realizations, and it turned into a treatment that was now accelerating professional athletes at an unbelievable rate. It was taking away injuries from people. And I started thinking, well, how do I take that treatment and take it from what I was doing to somebody, and how do I do it on myself? And for those of you guys who've been in pain for a long time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like back up against the corner. It's like pulling an ear. It's like twisting around. It's like getting in a bath. It's like taking something, sedating something. And all of the things I was doing were just sedating me, because then when I couldn't do nothing, I still wasn't okay. So that was my benchmark. So what we did is we had learned a few things about how the body moved and how fascia worked. And we had to rethink about the body a different way, because the current ways of thinking about the body, if you look at us right now, we have all the best practices in the world, allopathic or otherwise. We have all the best teachers in the world. We have all the therapies, the ancient ones and all that. But somehow, some way in society, every disease and dysfunction on the planet Earth is at its peak right now, today, right in front of you. Every mental disorder, physical disorder, every disease process is at its absolute peak. So that means at the aggregate, and if you go back 30 years ago when my mom started bringing me into natural care, and I wasn't there mentally, I was a science guy. Back then, nobody knew about these practices. Nobody even knew what a chiropractor was back then. Today, everybody knows what they are. Everybody's looking for a shaman, or everybody's looking for a new belief or a new way of doing something. And it's worse today than it was 30 years ago. So my assumption, being just a scientist and an entrepreneur, saying that everything in the world aggregate wasn't working and we needed a different way. So I'm going to share with you some movements today that have helped us. We released these publicly only 18 months ago. Today, 100 million people around the world have been affected. And with that, we have a couple million people following, but we're not even getting started yet. We've done this all. It's a not-for-profit. Nobody on our team has salaries. They've all given up their salaries and come to work to get this out. We believe that the world's in the largest health crisis that we've ever seen, and the people don't know it yet. And what we're doing is we're sharing all of these beliefs, and we're open sourcing healthcare. It doesn't matter what the version is or what the modality is. We're creating a platform so people like you who care and what I say is give a shit, have the ability to take and get your messages out there, because your voice needs to be heard. The world is in trouble right now. And this next 2 years are going to be the most difficult years health-wise in the history of known mankind. So today I'm going to share a few basic principles and a few ways of looking at the body that you may or may not have heard of. If you're new to this and this is your first time, it's going to take you thinking about everything completely new, because something new can't come from something old. Something new we had to look at this formula that we built to work with our human body. We had all this, think of it as a spreadsheet of all these inputs, and the formulas all worked, but something was wrong because at the end of it, we weren't better. So what we discovered was that square number one, the human body and how we saw the human body, there's something wrong with that. So first of all, a couple basics before we do this. Number one is bones are not structured. None of the bones in your body touch. This is our belief system. You can argue with it or believe it. It's your choice. None of the bones in the body touch except for the rib cage, the teeth, and the ears. So what holds your knee apart? It's not the muscles and it's not the meniscus. It's fascia. It's the only thing left. So fascia is bioacoustic, bioharmonic, biophotonic. We spent 10 years working with it and 3 years studying it in depth with every piece of equipment you can imagine during the pandemic. And we were looking to create a new understanding of how it works. So I'm going to paint a picture for you. If your bones aren't structured, then the next question is, what are they? If none of them touch. And these basics started to spin questions about how we work and how we move. We say our body's mechanical, biomechanical. So that would be a string going from here to here and me winding that string. That's mechanics, but blood flows into a fascial sheath and swirls around a muscle, creating a contraction. That means that we're actually, and there's 3 of those muscles here and 3 here as an example. So to do this action, it's blood moving in, that's actually hydraulic. So we see the body as biohydraulic, bioacoustic, and biophotonic. When somebody comes into your space and you know that they're there, but you don't know they're there, what is that? That's an entropic field or an aura as you know it. And again, I came from science to the natural side, looking at it that way, and said, well, I had to make these meet. So what does that feel? How is it when somebody's angry and they walk into a room? How is it that I automatically know that they're angry? What's the chemical mechanism? What is the thing that makes that work? It's not just magic. And a lot of things that we talk about in the body, we hear from people, they say, that's just how the body is. That's about 1/3 of the conversation that I've had with natural, organic practitioners of all kind in any way, shape, or form. And that's what we're saying is this magic. And I don't believe, I believe in magic, but I don't believe the body's magic. I believe the body's wonderful. It's a fluid adaptive biological computing system that was created, and we'll never understand it. I don't believe that I will understand fascia at all in this lifetime. But what we do know, and we're out of the business of trying to define it, we know how to program it. Today, people are reversing autoimmune diseases, scoliosis, cancers, and they're doing it at their own hands, and they're sharing it with us. And that's why 100 million people have seen this around the world in just over a year. So with this background, I want you to think about it a new way, accept what's going to happen. And we're going to go through a series of movements. And in these movements, I'm going to do ones that you can do seated as well. And I'll take questions if there's a capacity to do that. And I'll let you walk through it and feel it, because I can talk all day, but talking isn't going to do anything if you can't feel it. So let's get on to feeling it. Okay, so if you want to sit, you can do this seated as well. I'll get Cynthia out here. She can actually do some maneuvers for me seated.
I'm honored to connect with you all. Yes.
Cynthia is one of our co-founders. Have a seat. So I'll do them standing and she can do them seated, and then you can follow along. And the great part about this is that you can be in a bed and it still works the same, because what we're doing is we're moving pressure and fluid through the body. We see the body in 3 general pressure zones, from the jaw upwards, from the neck to the pelvic floor, from the pelvic floor down and below. Whatever changes here has to be changed here, and then has to have an effect here. And there's no way around that, because again, muscles don't move the body. And here's another one. If muscles move the body, it takes 1.5 seconds for a nerve signal to go from the foot, if you map it out and you use nerve conduction testing, through the brain, through the homunculus and the cerebellum, back down for motor control. So So my question or query was, well, how do we move when we step on glass? Because we move right away. But if it takes a second and a half, according to the nerve signals, muscle skeletal nerve, that'd be 1/1000 move. So the way we explain it in science is a ganglion reflex, which is an unintelligent movement. That means if I stepped on glass, I would just go boink. But I don't. I move intelligently to safety, which means that something is organized and coordinated in my body to a moment of safety before my brain even knows that there's a threat. And now, if that's the case, that means that the brain isn't intelligent enough with the muscles to move the body. So the brain doesn't move the body. So something else does. And we believe it's fascia. And we believe that fascia is being informed by our field, our entropic field. And we believe that the brain coordinates the motions, brings the systems of the muscle skeletal system together, or the muscles, to act as a defense mechanism when the fascia is malfunctioning or needs more stability. So again, this is a completely different system, but this works in practice. It's helping people all over the world. We're still trying to develop a theory, and I'm open to any suggestion, but I do not believe that in this lifetime I will understand it completely. I believe we'll know how to work with it, and I'm okay with that. So let's just get into our bodies here. Let's create some awareness. So what I want you to do is to stand there. I want you to put your focus on your feet for a minute. And or your bum if you're sitting down. And your feet or your bum, what I want you to do is feel a separation between your body and the floor or the chair. When you can get your mind on that separation, I want you to push space in there like you're pushing air in there. So push space in between your feet, space in between your butt. And when you can feel that you have space there, now I want you to move your body a little bit. I want you to move your ankles. See if there's any restriction. Now we're just not judging it. We just want to see if there's restriction, because we only know it works if we can validate it. So let's move our ankles around, move our knees around, move our hips around, front and back. Twist our torso of our body. If there are any restrictions there. Lift your arms above your head, behind you, to the side. If there are any restrictions anywhere. Move your shoulders around. Do they crunch? Do they move? Move your head around in a circle, both ways. Turn right, turn left. Look up, look down. Okay, get an idea where your emotions are. Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you pissed off at what I just said? Are you happy? Are you excited? Is there any narratives running in your brain? If there's narratives in your brain, you can't embody anything if there's a narrative in your brain here. Are you here or are you somewhere else? And what's your perception? Perceptions are the narratives. They're what you tell yourself your story. Okay, so get a baseline from that. Walk, if you're walking, walk to and from the camera, see how you walk, feel your body moving. You don't have to have a big space, you can walk in a circle, but just feel if there's evenness or not evenness. And then let's do some really simple things, okay? First and foremost, we're going to start with something that people don't normally start with. People normally start with the physical body, moving the body, stuff like that. I'm going to start off with the most powerful of all the fascial maneuvers, which are treated the least important. We're going to start off with just doing an organ reset. And what does that mean? If you're an acupuncturist and you do this series of movements, which you can do in 7 minutes quickly, if you're an acupuncturist and you test a patient, and then you do these breath movements and you go back and test that patient again for organ pathways, what needs to be tonified or whatever. Typically, we're reported to us by acupuncturists and Chinese medicine doctors that 80% of their work is done with these quick breaths. So what we're gonna do is get our hands a little bit charged. Fascia, biophotonic, bioacoustic. Fascia compresses during stress, anxiety, under chemical intrusion. So if you're emotional, if you have anger in your body, your fascia is contracted. If you have fear in your body, if you have fear in your nervous system that your spouse is going to leave you, or you've got to pay your bills and you don't know how you're going to, you can't embody stuff at that space and time. So what we want to do is give yourself some time to embody it. So you can get references like a gopher picking his head up out of the ground saying, where am I right now? That way I know where I am. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take your right hand and put it on your belly button. This is the center of every blood vein, every nerve, every ending of the body came through here at one point. So all of our information came here. There's way more to understand about this. And if you get into our practice, you'll see how powerful this is. Take and move your right hand 2 inches to the right and 2 inches down. This is your iliosyncal valve. Okay. And roughly 90% of the population is blocked or open or closed or not functioning properly 1/3 to 2/3 of their day. Okay, so you can either, if you don't have a full hand, you can just touch it lightly, but if you have a hand, push into there and give yourself a thumbs up, twisting the skin. Okay, take your left hand, put it on your trap, and when I say put it on your trap, you're just putting it here. This is a fascial gateway in between your zone 1 and zone 2. So all of the meridians, all the fascial zones run through there. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 6 breaths together in all of these, and we're gonna do this 3 through the mouth and 3 through the nose. So 3, 2, 1 through the mouth, breathe in. 2. 3. Through the nose. 2. 3. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go right up to the gallbladder liver. So move your hands straight up to right underneath the rib cage. On the right side, push in, turn a little bit, gallbladder and liver, and again, 3, 2, 1 through the mouth. 2. 3. Through the nose. 2. 3. Okay, let's stop and then just feel how you feel. If you have a bloody taste in your mouth or a sour taste at the tip of your tongue, just put it in the chat. If you feel something, let us know. And we're going to be going through these and we're going to be checking in. It's not to prove anything, it's to give your body awareness. If you want fascia to work better, it's knowing in space and time. Fascia is interdimensional. For all you fascists out there, it's interdimensional. So we've got to grab ourselves a space and time. Yeah. So if you're feeling the metal taste in your mouth, that means that your iliosyncal valve was dislodged. If you're feeling it in your gallbladder, and if you have tightness in your throat from Teresa, that's usually because there's some resentment that hasn't been expressed, but the bitterness or the bile is the gallbladder. So let's go over to the other side, the left side. Right at the very top of the rib cage there, right where it curves, that's your stomach attachment. And here you're going to take and pull it this way and take your left hand and you pull it this way. If it's sore throat and it's sore on one side, that means something too, by the way. Okay, so what we're going to do is breathe in through the mouth. 2. 3. Through the nose. 2. 3. Okay, go all the way down to the left hip, large intestine, small intestine, valve of Houston, pancreas. Pushing in there and pulling towards your belly button to create tension and fascial motion. Breathe in through the mouth. 2. 3. Through the nose. 2. 3. Awesome. Okay. How are you feeling now? Take a moment here. If you have something that you want to say, this also can bring up a lot of emotions. The more people, we do this with thousands of people online, brings up emotions. We're looking forward to being in India this year. We're having a stadium of 100,000 people. Heaviness. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that. At one time, we believe that's going to open up some sort of portal. Hope so. Anyways, I've been looking to get out of this world for a moment. Okay, let's see what else we got here. How much are we supposed to press? You can actually just touch your hands lightly. Technically, you can put your hands here without touching, it still works. We're bridging the connection between our fields. If you put your hand right here and breathe, try this. Air goes to there. Put it here and breathe. Air goes to here. Put it in your hip and breathe. So what it is we believe that your field is bringing electricity to your body. Your body's meeting it from the inside through the fascia. So that's why and pressure is moving as a result. That's why you can feel anywhere you touch your body and breathe, that's where the breath goes. Okay, so again, these are assumptions that we're making. No one can prove this for sure, but this is the best way that I can explain it to make sense to me. I'm a man of science originally, so I need the science. I need the proof, or I used to anyway, not so much today. Okay, next one's for the bladder. Okay, so what we do is put our hands on our pubic bone and push in. Again, you can do lightly. Some people can bend over, you get a better grip. But when you're pushing in, you're pulling up. So you can actually feel it into your sex organs or into your genitals or whatever. You pull it up a little bit. Take your left hand, put it behind your neck, and squeeze your butt cheeks and push forward. What this does is pushes the bladder into your hands. If you're sitting again, just squeeze your butt cheeks and pull your spine in. Okay, breathe in. 2, 3. Through the nose. 2, 3. If anybody has a sore tailbone or sacrum all the time, that'll do it. If you're out somewhere and you got to pee and you need an extra 15 to 20 minutes, that'll give you your extra 15 to 20 minutes. So this one here, move your hips around, feel it, see if there's a change. Usually there's a change, especially in forward, backwards, or side to side on one side of the hip. Okay, so now we're going to go to the kidneys. Kidneys are bring us life. This is my right hand. I'm going to go right onto the rib cage, right below the broad line. I'm going to squeeze here a little bit and pull down. So I'm stretching it and pulling down. Take the left hand, put it all the way over the neck. We're going to fold over to our left, turn our head to the right. We're going to take 3 sharp breaths into the right hand. Go with your mouth. Go. Okay, that's activating your kidney. Now we're going to take 6 breaths. Breathe in slowly through the mouth. 2, 3. Through the nose. 2, 3. Okay, now if you're standing, move around a little bit. Feel the difference in your right side compared to your left side. Take a deep breath. Notice the air going into one side, possibly more than the other. If it's not, that's okay too. Everybody has a slightly different effect, but that's opening up the lungs. It's opening up the kidney. It's saying to the kidneys and the lungs that we're open for business. Let's do the left side. Same thing, grab the rib cage here. Squeeze, pull down, take the right hand all the way over, lean to your right, turn your head to the left. 3 sharp breaths to the mouth into your left hand. Okay, now 6 breaths, we're breathing into the mouth. 2, 3. Through the nose. 2, 3. Leave that left hand there. Take your thumb and put it on your spine, right below the rib cage, and grab around the ribs here. So you're grabbing the small of your waist, squeeze it a little bit. I want you to tighten up your spine, pull your belly button in, squeeze your sex organs, lean forward, turn your head and lean to the right a bit, and you're going to feel that thumb come pressured. That's your spleen. So we're going to breathe in 6 times through the mouth, starting in. 2, 3. Through the nose. 2, 3. Okay. Does that one clear your mind? That one clears your mind. That's super powerful. Spleen cleans our blood. Blood rushes through our bodies. Every 2 minutes, it's circulating over and over and over again, dozens of times. And so when you take and you do the spleen, it usually clears the brain. So if you have a feeling, a sense of more clarity in your head, calmness or quietness, and usually you can feel that by the narrative in your brain stuff. Okay, so let's do the thyroid. So you take your right hand, put it on your thyroid area. Thyroid comes like a bib right here. Push up. Take your left hand on the back. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna breathe 6 times again through the mouth. Breathe in. 2, 3. Through the nose. 2, 3. Okay, awesome. Move your neck around. For me, that loosened my neck. I got a little adjustment, whether you're sitting or standing. Feeling a little bit more alive right now. Feeling a little bit like moving around. Today we were doing some heavy work and I'm coming back into my body. So take my right hand, put it on my heart, and left hand on the head. This is for brain-heart coherence. We can measure this. Heart Math Institute has a machine, and you can actually do this in 6 breaths, and it does the same work as the machine does, what we found. Okay, and imagine the energy swirling like this, and you can put any color you want in there. I suggest green and white as a way of doing it. So breathe into your mouth. 2, 3. Through the nose, breathe in. 2, 3. Okay, good. So now we have a place and time. That's your organ reset. And we did it very slow with explanation. You can do that in 7 to 10 minutes, and you can do that any time of day. Kids are awesome at it. It regulates their emotions. It calms them down and brings them back into their space. We like to work with kids because when they learn how to regulate their emotions, they'll be telling you to do it. Because we forget sometimes as adults because we haven't been taught this. So walk around a little bit, see how you feel. If you're not walking, move your arms. The body likes contralateral motion and flow. So this is one of the ways to get your nervous system. You can do it with your feet too. This is how your body understands and learns the environment. It needs motion and it needs a figure 8. Why a figure 8? Figure 8 is because we're moving energy in our field. Just like when we used to have the iPad, we used to get it like this to get the compass right. Our body's compass works the same way. So how are you feeling? Put it in the comments if you're feeling something, if you've changed. And I will let you know that if this is your first time practicing, this could be like taking too much of a medication. The very first time people can herx a little bit, but generally most people are going to feel calmer. They're going to have a bit more feeling or sensation of peacefulness. But please put it in the comments. Openness, calm, joy. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you, Teresa. Body more relaxed and fluid. I love that. And this was all in a breathing exercise, grounded. Notice that if you're standing, release. And we haven't done any movement yet. That's why, because the organs control the meridians. And the way we see fascia is we don't even see meridians and fascia the way that we used to. Fascia is not a coating around the body. We are fascia. It's a gel. Muscles, organs, meridians, bones, glands, and nerves float inside that gel. But because it's a society, we're taught to fear. We're afraid of not having food or not having shelter. It contracts and contracts against us. That's why doing fascial maneuvers, people get taller. I'm 3 inches taller than I was 3.5 years ago. Cynthia's taller, everybody else is as well. So what we believe is we're opening up the fascial gateways, and by doing that, the bones separate. So my knee doesn't have to be like this. Technically, if fascia is a structure, it could still be like this and work. Why doesn't it? What are your thoughts about regular? I can't see that. We'll get into the questions after if we have time. Regular, how are we doing for time, and what's the time allotment? Sorry, no. Can't hear you.
I think we have about 5 more minutes.
Okay, so we're going to do the most powerful of all the fascial maneuvers that we can do in 5 minutes. Totally twisted, okay? Totally twisted. This is a standing fetal position. So take your right foot, put it over top of your left foot. If you're sitting down, same thing like this. Right hand on left armpit, left hand on top. From your head to the left and your body to the right. Push your tongue into the left cheek. Hard, and then breathe in 6 times. Breathe in with me. We'll go a little faster. 2, Squeeze your belly button, 3. Pull up your sex organs, 4. 5. 6. Drop your tongue, pull your belly button in, purse your lips, draw air into your lungs like you're blowing up a balloon. Breathe in and hold it. Bit more. Bit more. Turn a bit more and squeeze the air out. Exhale. Breathe in again. More. More. Turn a bit more and exhale. Again. More. More. Turn and exhale. Now 6 breaths into the nose and out to the mouth. Breathe in. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, slowly turn your body to the left and your head slowly to the right. Put your tongue in your right cheek, pushing into the cheek, and breathe in. 3, 4, 5, 6. Drop your tongue, purse your lips, breathe in and hold it. More. More. Exhale. Again. More. More. Exhale. One more time. Breathe in. More. More. Exhale. In through the nose and out through the mouth 6 times. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, good. Walk around and integrate that or move around. You're going to feel dizzy on one part of your body. You might feel lightheaded. It's completely normal. Lightheadedness will go away in about 1 to 1.5 minutes. You're moving cerebral spinal fluid and fascial fluid through the zones of fascia. That causes the body to have to recalibrate because we're moving pressure and the body now has different pressure areas, so it has to rebalance. You might also notice sweat in weird parts of your body that you haven't sweat before, like right over here in the crotch there, on the arm there, behind the neck there, and nowhere else. So to be respectful of time, I'm going to go quickly to the next one just to balance this off because this can really off balance you. Left foot over. Left arm underneath the right armpit. Right arm on top. This one, we're just going to breathe in and we're not going to do the full movement just so you can rebalance your body. Head to the right, body to the left. Harder to stand here. What we're doing is just take in 6 breaths. Breathe in to the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slowly turn your body to the right and your head to the left. 6 breaths. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, awesome. Get up and walk around, integrate this for a minute. We only did a couple breaths here. This is called the stress reset. It's on our YouTube channel. You can do it. I suggest you do this with anti-gravity, which is the 3rd one, and pellet swipe to balance this off after today's summit. I really strongly suggest you go and do that because this is quite the process. This puts the body in a standing fetal position. We believe that in a fetal position, fascial memories come back from the womb, and that's where we start healing the trauma physically. And after that, then we can connect to what's non-physical. Greg, we have an event that happens basically bi-monthly. Usually have a couple thousand people come up for a class online on Zoom. Everybody in the conference, if you give me, I'll send you a link that you can send out to everybody. It's a $20 fee. We'll waive that for everybody if they want to come in and get a better experience and understand this a little bit more.
Yeah, that's so generous of you giving that gift, Gary. And I really cannot thank you enough for that amazing presentation. I just feel so altered by those simple movements and breathing. And yeah, I wish we could have a lot more time together. But
how do you feel? What do you feel, Greg?
I just feel a nice flow, relaxed, centered. My mind is clear.
When's your birthday, Greg?
When's my what?
Your birthday.
September 8th.
Oh, yeah, I knew it. You're a decisive Virgo, so you're all about fixing stuff, but you're good at making decisions. So for you, that predisposition is small intestine and forehead, back and neck.
Right.
Comes down into there. So that should be calming down for you to
Yeah.
feel the back in your center.
Right. It really is. And yeah, this is so beneficial, and the work you're doing in the world, just it's so great. I can't thank you enough for being here.
I want everybody to know that the intellectual property, everything that we have is free of charge. We have platforms that you can use. We encourage you to take our maneuvers and build them into your programs. We'll even help you modify them and even sometimes shoot video or partner with you. We have a massive resource media team. We're speaking to roughly 50 million people a week. So we have the ability to get a message out. And if you have a program and you want to develop on fascial maneuvers, go ahead and start doing it right now today. I believe that healthcare, all forms, should be open sourced, and we do not believe that anything should be coddled or taken away. And that's why we're opening up everything that we have, all the resources, all the research as it comes out.
It's so generous. Thanks so much for all you're doing, Gary. And thanks for being here.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Everybody have a good conference. I wish I could stay around. We've got some.
We could do a whole day. We could do a whole day for sure. All right.
Okay.
Thanks. Take care.
Care.
Bye.